Hey guys, welcome back to the Basics of Solidity playlist. And this is the second video, and in this video itself we'll start coding. Now whenever I mentor developers offline, I get them to start coding as soon as possible because the more you delay, the more barriers you create in your mind. So we will learn a lot about the theory, we look at slides and we look at documentation. But the first step when you want to learn a programming language, be it any programming language, the first step is to eat the frog first and write code as soon as possible, because that builds confidence. So this is what I want to do in this video itself. And you want to head over to remix-project.org. This is the IDE that we'll be using in the beginning. We'll be using Solidity in our local environment, but in the beginning, just like I did with Golang, just like I did with Rust, we are basically, with Solidity, we are basically going to be using an online code editor first. Okay, so the code editor that we'll be using is called Remix. So remix-project.org, and then you click on this Remix IDE, and here we'll write some code that you probably won't understand right now, and that's completely all right. The main thing is to write the code and to get started rather than to understand it. For understanding, we'll have all the videos that we'll be following. Okay, you want to cross this for now, and then you have right from scratch you get these three folders. You get tests, scripts, and contracts. Don't delete any of this right now. We'll learn what these mean. For now, when you just click on contracts, click on this icon here, because you want to create a new file. So create a new file. Let me try and zoom in if possible. Yeah, so I've zoomed in now, and hopefully you can see it much better. You want to click on this icon, which is the create new file icon, and this file you want to call it hello world, where H and W are both capital, .sol. Sol stands for Solidity. So this was a big confusion for me when I started back in 2018 with writing Solidity code. I thought Sol is something else, and later on I thought Sol is probably Solana, but Sol is just Solidity. Okay, and probably you have this kind of confusion as well. All right, so you want to go to hello-world.sol, and then you want to start writing some code. The first thing that you write in your Solidity file is usually the license identifier. So it starts off as a comment, and then you write spdx license identifier MIT. So what we're saying here is that for the code that we're writing right now, the license is the MIT open license, which basically means anybody can use and change around in this code. So Solidity is quite sensitive about this, so it always asks you to put this license identifier and gives you an error or at least a warning whenever you try to compile the program. Okay, so it's a good practice to just write this in the beginning itself. The next thing that you want to write is you want to mention the version of Solidity that you're using. So you'll say Pragma Solidity, and we want to use the version 0.7.0. from, like, it should be greater than 0.7.0 and should be less than 0.9.0. Now whenever you get some code from the internet, whenever you are looking for examples in Solidity and you find some code on the internet, make sure you take a look at what version of Solidity was it made for, because older code like 0.4.0 and so on, it doesn't really work with the latest versions of Solidity. So you always want to check what version of code it was meant for. Put a space here, and then let's create a contract. So everything in Solidity is built around contracts. Inside our contract we have a function. Now it's completely okay if you don't understand the word contract and what it's doing, and if you don't understand what a function is or what it's doing, it's completely okay. What you want to do is basically we want to print hello world, and this is the shortest way to print hello world inside Solidity. And that's what we're doing. And it's okay if you don't understand how we're doing it, because in the later videos we'll break down every single thing and we'll learn the more fundamental concepts, documentations, and many other things about Solidity. For now, you need to understand we just want to print hello world. That's all we're doing. So it's completely okay if you don't understand what is public, what is pure, what is returns. If nothing makes sense to you, it's completely okay. And it's completely okay if the string memory also does not make any sense to you. But what should make sense to you is that that all we're doing is we're trying to print hello world. Sorry. hello world. Okay, and this is it. This is the program. So to print hello world, this is all you have to do. You have to create a contract called hello world. Inside that is a function which returns hello world. These are some keywords we will learn about. But once you've written your code, once you think that this is all you had to do, you've written your code, you will then go to the Solidity compiler. Let me zoom out now so that you can at least see the options. And you'll compile hello world.sol. And then you should, this is basically the third button here, and you should see compile world.sol button. You do that, you will see that it has compiled a contract called hello world, which it gives you the option of publishing on IPFS, Swarm, and it gives you some compilation details. I'll show it to you right now. I won't explain it to you because I'll be explaining to you in the upcoming videos. But this bytecode and this ABI is what you're interested in, and we'll talk about all of these things. Okay. For now, what you need to understand is that your contract has been compiled, and you want to then go to deploy and run transactions button, which is the last button. Here you see multiple environments. We are on the London environment, JavaScript VM. We'll talk about the gas limit also. And for all this, we'll also have to understand what is Ethereum. So from next video onwards, I'll start breaking down Ethereum for you for the next 3 videos. And then we'll start from the very basics of Solidity, right? Understanding all of these terms, what they mean. And then everything will become clear to you. But now I'm just giving you a quick tour of Remix IDE. So you've understood how to create new files. You understood how to compile the program. Very important steps. You understood that there's something called as a license identifier. You've understood what is, Solidity versions. What are what contracts look like, what are functions, very, very important things. And now the other important thing that you want to see is that you can deploy. You can deploy these. So in case you don't see it in your contracts, that means something has gone wrong, but you should be able to see your contract which you've compiled here in this contract tab. And when you deploy it, here you will see deployed contracts. You will see something called as deploy contracts, and you can click on it, and you can see that you can click on this function called get, and that prints out hello world for you. So our function's name is get. Whenever you click on it, it gives you hello world. Now this button was created by Remix IDE for us. So it's an interesting IDE, right? It creates these buttons for you, which no other IDE does. And here you can see all your deployed contracts. Now this is just one of the deployed contracts. Similarly, I can go to all of these other contracts that I have, my palette, owner, storage, and all these which I got by default when I opened the Solidity project. I can compile all of this, and I can deploy all of them, and then I can interact with them. So only after you deploy, you can interact with it, and you can see that it prints out hello world. Amazing. So that's a very good start with Solidity. We know our way around Remix. We know the very fundamental blocks, what's happening here. And now from next video onwards, we'll start learning about Ethereum and what all of these terms mean. What does gas mean? What is Y, and Ether, feeling what all these things mean. What is contract, smart contract? What is IPFS? What do all these things mean is something that we'll start looking at from next video onwards. So next video, for until about 3 videos, we'll just talk about Ethereum and all of these concepts. But right now you've gotten a good start in Solidity. Thanks a lot for watching. Do subscribe to this channel because you get awesome content like this, and I'll see you in the next video.